Hey y'all, Joe from QuadLock here, and today I'm going to show you how to install the 12 to 24 volt waterproof wireless charging head on your motorcycle. The 12 to 24 volt waterproof wireless charger offers a seamless way to wirelessly charge your device for those of us looking for a little bit more of a custom application. In the box, you'll find the wireless charging head, 2 cable grommet plugs, an M5 screw, a 3mm Allen key, and 5 zip ties to help tidy up your installation. Before we get started, I need to be upfront with y'all. For this installation, we're going to be modifying the motorcycle's electrical system and removing a few pieces along the way to gain the access we need. Now, if you're not the most mechanically inclined, or the idea of working on your electrical system is daunting, we highly recommend you take it to a professional. Or you can use the USB weatherproof wireless charging head. Now, if this alternative sounds good to you, but you don't have a USB port already wired to your bike, no stress. We have the 12 volt to USB Smart Adaptor to get you covered. More information on those down in the description, but let's get back to the installation. Today we're working on this Ducati Scrambler, but no matter what you ride, it's essential that you connect your charging head to inline fused and switched power. That way the charging head is only active when the ignition is switched on. First, we're gonna remove the seat so we can gain access to the battery and electronics, and we're gonna test to make sure that our wireless charging head is functioning properly before we finish the installation. To do that, I'm going to take the negative wire and attach it to the negative terminal of the battery and the positive wire to the positive terminal. You'll see once I do that, we have a nice solid red light, which lets us know the head's getting power. And to check it, we're going to attach our phone. Now, before I do that, I'm removing the locking cap because if I don't, it's easy for it to get stuck in the back of the phone. So with the cap off, I'm going to set it on the wireless charger, and you can see the phone is lit up and charging, letting us know we're good to go. If you've already got a quad lock setup mounted to the bike, now is a great time to swap out the locking lever to the wireless charging head. This allows us to put it exactly where we need so we can check our cable length accurately and have our phone just where we want it. Now that that's out of the way, we're gonna map the route our cable takes from the mount to our switched power. So to do that, I'm gonna go under the gas tank, and if I run it down in the battery box where it's gonna end up, it looks like I've got plenty of excess. So I'm gonna go ahead and run that cable, and then once I have everything tidied up, I'm gonna trim it and solder it. Every motorcycle is going to be a little bit different, so make sure to follow the wiring diagram and electrical safety guidelines provided in the box. Now, conveniently, our donor Ducati already has auxiliary power wired under the seat, so I'm just going to splice our wireless charging head into that part of the harness. If you're looking for more options on your bike, I highly recommend checking out the running light circuit, or if you're on a fully faired cruiser, oftentimes there's auxiliary power pre-wired behind the fairing. It is really important to ensure that you have correct polarity. So we already know our wireless charging head works. We just want to make sure before we solder this and make a hard connection, the polarity is correct. So I'm going to connect my wires negative to negative, hot to hot, and ensure that indeed that charger is lighting up like I can see on the dash. That means we're good to go, and I can finalize these connections. All right, now that we know we've got our polarity correct, we're going to put on some heat shrink tubing first. And then, instead of soldering and getting roasted by the internet, I'm going to use solder seal. These are great little quick connectors if you're not the best at soldering or don't know how to do it. These work great in a pinch where you don't need a ton of flexibility. So all you have to do for these is slide them over your wires, twist them together, and then you slip your solder seal over the wires. Like so. And as you can see, there's a little ball of solder in the middle. When we apply heat to all of this, it's going to shrink, melt the solder, and seal off the entire connection, making it permanent. So we've got both wires ready. The polarity is correct. I'll slide my heat shrink tubing over everything just to ensure a watertight seal. Because what's the point of a weatherproof charger if your connections aren't weatherproof? And now we're going to use a heat gun to seal these up. This one's kind of fancy. It has a nice little scoop on the end to help direct it. A normal lighter works just fine. Now that our wires are all hooked up, we're going to check one last time to ensure that everything works. So flip on that key and look for a red light. If you're not getting one, there's a good chance you've wired it backwards, so make sure your polarity is correct. Now that we've got all the wires connected, it's time to tidy things up. But before we do that, we need to make sure we have enough cable slack. So while you're sitting on the bike, make sure to rotate the bars lock to lock and ensure you've got plenty of slack. Once you do, make your adjustments, and then we can tidy everything up with the included zip ties. Now that we've cleaned up our wiring, it's time for one last safety check. So just like last time, we're gonna rotate the bars from lock to lock, ensuring there is zero interference. To mount your phone, simply turn it 45 degrees, twist, and lock into place. And there you have it, the Quad Lock 12 to 24 volt waterproof wireless charging head. If you have any questions about the install, please feel free to drop in the comments below. And until next time, ride safe.